Ripple just dropped a bombshell in its fight against the SEC, and it could send XRP to the moon, but it may not be exactly what you're thinking of. So stick around to find out why this could be the biggest crypto news of 2025. This is Joe from Joe Knows the Cryptos, your go-to source for crypto news. And the Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit has been a 4-year saga that's about to end with massive implications for XRP. So I'm sure you know that Judge Torres just rejected a key settlement, and despite that, XRP investors are still buzzing with excitement. If you're not a subscriber, now is the time to hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. So back in December of 2020, the SEC sued Ripple Labs, alleging they raised about $1.3 billion by selling XRP as an unregistered security. And that's pretty big accusation. So in July of 2023, Judge Torres delivered a landmark ruling that the XRP sales on public exchanges were indeed not securities, and that's the most important part here, but $728 million in institutional sales violated securities laws. I don't understand how you can not be a security but violate security laws, but I guess that's why I'm not a lawyer. So with that, we'll keep going. So this led to a $125 million fine in August of 2024. So both sides appeal. Now remember, Ripple appealed to fight institutional sales rulings, and the SEC appealed to challenge the exchange sales decision. So that basically kept XRP in regulatory limbo until about, now. So let's fast forward to June of 2025. Ripple and the SEC tried to settle the case with a reduced $50 million fine and the removal of an injunction limiting Ripple's institutional XRP sales. Because of that judgment, or because a judgment had been already handed down, it had to be approved by Torres. Just because the two parties wanted to drop it doesn't mean it's in the best interest of the public. So on June 26, Judge Torres shot down their joint motion, calling it procedurally improper and saying they didn't justify overriding public interest. So again, both parties, even though they wanted to amend, the judge still has to make sure it fits legal definitions and in the public best interest. So she deemed it did not. So this was clearly a setback, as it kept the $125 million fine and the injunction in place. So that was on the 26th. And then the very next day, when things didn't look a little more uncertain, Ripple dropped a game changer on the 27th. And that was that CEO Brad Garlinghouse announced on X that Ripple is withdrawing its cross appeal, accepting the $125 million fine and the institutional sales restriction. So even bigger than that, Garlinghouse hinted that the SEC is likely to drop its appeal, potentially ending the lawsuit for good by August of 2025 of this year. So Brad said on X, Ripple is dropping our cross appeal, and the SEC is expected to drop their appeal, as they previously said. We're closing this chapter once and for all and focusing on what's most important, building the internet of value, lock in. Those are his words, and I love that last piece, lock in. That, to me, that signals big things are happening for XRP. I'm not a financial advisor. This is certainly not financial advice. I just thought that was a very positive and strong statement. So with the new SEC Chair Paul Atkins, who's crypto-friendly, the agency has already softened its stance, dropping cases against Coinbase and Kraken. So this suggests the SEC is ready to close the Ripple chapter. I hope they do. The appeals court has paused proceedings until about the 15th of August, giving both sides time to finalize their exit strategy. So this is certainly huge for XRP. So first of all, it finally ends the lawsuit and it removes a massive cloud of uncertainty that's held XRP back for certainly years. With no SEC approval, the XRP status as a non-security on public exchanges is locked in, giving investors and institutions confidence. Secondly, Ripple can refocus on global expansion. Their payment network, used by banks worldwide, relies on XRP, and regulatory clarity in the US could certainly boost adoption. Third, the market is already reacting. XRP is beginning to stabilize, around the 120 or 220 mark right now, and the signs look pretty good for potential future growth. Again, not financial advice. Don't know what's going to happen in the future. It could certainly go down, but it does look to me like there's definitely the possibility of improvement. Finally, this is big. This is big news. The ETF speculation is certainly heating up. Franklin Templeton, which is a huge provider of those ETFs, their XRP ETF decision is delayed till about late June, July, but a resolved lawsuit could fast-track approvals, attracting billions, potentially billions, in institutional money. And that would certainly affect price, possibly. The Ripple versus SEC saga is finally nearing its end, and XRP is poised for a breakout. Do you think XRP will hit $5 or even $10 this year? What is your target price for XRP this year? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this breakdown whatsoever, hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and you'll get more crypto updates. Follow us on X for real-time news, and we'll see you next time.